The White House's shift in disaster preparedness, a risk-based approach or reckless retreat. President Trump's recent executive order fundamentally reshapes the landscape of disaster preparedness in the United States, sparking a heated debate about the nation's resilience in the face of natural calamities. The order mandates a significant shift in responsibility, transferring the burden of disaster preparation from the federal government to state and local authorities. This move, framed by the administration as a streamlined, risk-based approach, is viewed by critics as a dangerous weakening of national disaster readiness. The core of the controversy lies in the shift away from the traditional all-hazards approach, a strategy that prepared for a wide spectrum of potential disasters. The executive order advocates for a more targeted, risk assessment-driven model, prioritizing resources based on localized threat levels. While proponents argue this improves efficiency and allocates resources more effectively, critics express deep concerns about the potential for significant gaps in preparedness, especially for smaller communities with limited resources or those facing less frequently occurring but potentially catastrophic events. The administration claims this transition fosters greater local autonomy and accountability. By empowering state and local governments to develop tailored disaster plans, the argument goes, the response will be more effective and better suited to specific regional needs. This decentralized approach, however, raises critical questions about the capacity of all states and localities to accurately assess and adequately respond to the full range of potential hazards. Financial constraints, differing levels of expertise, and uneven access to technology could create significant disparities in preparedness across the nation. The Natural Resources Defense Council, NRDC, a prominent environmental advocacy group, has sharply criticized the administration's approach. Rob Moore, director of the NRDC's Flooding Solutions team, voiced strong concerns, stating that the Trump administration has consistently undermined the nation's capacity to effectively manage and recover from disasters. He argues that this systematic weakening, beginning from the president's first days in office, leaves the nation dangerously vulnerable. Moore's statement underscores a growing apprehension among experts and critics. The shift in responsibility raises questions about equitable access to resources and the potential for overlooking less prominent but equally devastating hazards. The effectiveness of a truly risk-based approach hinges on comprehensive, accurate, and consistently updated risk assessments across all regions and communities. Without rigorous federal oversight and support, concerns remain that this transition could leave numerous communities dangerously unprepared, exacerbating the impact of future disasters. The debate extends beyond the practical implications of resource allocation. It touches on fundamental questions of federal responsibility and the social contract between the government and its citizens. The executive order fundamentally alters the balance of power, and its long-term consequences, both positive and negative, are yet to be fully realized. The coming years will be critical in assessing whether this shift towards a more localized, risk-based approach enhances national resilience or leaves the nation vulnerable to the unpredictable forces of nature and the potential for widespread suffering in the aftermath of disaster. The long-term implications for vulnerable communities and the nation as a whole demand careful scrutiny and ongoing evaluation.